For the majority of his life, James Coburn remained largely silent about Robert Mitchum. Though Mitchum was among the actors who left an indelible mark on him, Coburn was not one to speak freely about admiration or influence. He preferred that his body of work convey his principles and artistic sensibilities rather than vocal declarations. Only in the twilight of his life did he begin to articulate his reverence for Mitchum. And when he did, audiences and peers alike recognized just how pivotal Mitchum had been in shaping Coburn's understanding of performance, celebrity, and personal integrity. To fully comprehend the depth of Mitchum's impact on Coburn, it is necessary first to explore the early life of James Coburn, his origins, his struggles, and the man he became long before the glare of Hollywood lights ever touched him. James Harrison Coburn III was born on August 31, 1928, in the small Midwestern town of Laurel, Nebraska, a place hardly associated with producing Hollywood stars. Life there was modest, and the realities of the Great Depression added layers of difficulty and uncertainty to everyday existence. Coburn grew up in an era where financial instability was common, employment was inconsistent, and stability was a luxury few could take for granted. His father operated a small garage, striving to support the family, while his mother encouraged young James' curiosity and imagination. From the outset, he was taught that life demanded effort and perseverance, that nothing of value came without labor. Yet, beyond the economic hardships, Coburn's health was an even more profound influence on his development. As a child, he suffered from severe rheumatoid arthritis, a condition that caused chronic pain, swelling, and stiffness in his joints. Simple movements, from walking to using his hands, could become agonizing undertakings. Where many might have been defeated by such a condition, Coburn responded with resilience. He cultivated patience, internal fortitude, and an intuitive understanding of endurance, learning to bear pain without complaint. These lessons taught him early that true strength often manifests quietly, in ways unseen and uncelebrated by the world. This quiet endurance became a hallmark of Coburn's later screen presence. On camera, he was known for wielding power through stillness, subtle gestures, and controlled speech rather than through overt drama or volume. After completing high school, Coburn enlisted in the United States Army, serving as a truck driver during the period surrounding the Korean War. Military life, with its strict discipline and rigorous demands, reinforced the qualities he had already developed: toughness, self-reliance, and the ability to persist under difficult conditions without seeking recognition. Following his discharge, Coburn did not immediately pursue fame or fortune in Hollywood. Instead, he immersed himself in study, attending Los Angeles City College and later San Diego State College, where he concentrated on drama. These formative years revealed to him that acting was not merely a hobby or pastime. It was a calling. He approached it as a craft demanding discipline, honesty, and emotional acuity, valuing depth and truth over superficial allure or celebrity. Coburn's early training included stage work in small theater productions and intensive acting classes that emphasized realism over grandiose expression. He also spent time at the Hedro Theater in Pennsylvania, a respected institution that demanded serious commitment from its actors and reinforced the idea that acting was about authenticity rather than spectacle. By the time he returned to California, Coburn had cultivated a rigorous, thoughtful approach to performance. Television offered him his first steady opportunities during the 1950s, a period dominated by westerns. He appeared in popular shows such as Gunsmoke, Bonanza, The Rifleman, and Have Gun Will Travel, often in guest or supporting roles. Each appearance allowed him to refine a distinctive style that set him apart from contemporaries who relied on exaggerated gestures, booming voices, and flamboyant dramatics. Coburn's approach was understated yet compelling. He spoke deliberately, acted with economy, and conveyed intensity without shouting or grandstanding. Casting directors quickly recognized that he brought a modern, intelligent, and subtly threatening presence to conventional Western archetypes. Coburn's career trajectory changed dramatically in 1960 with his casting as Britt in The Magnificent Seven. Playing a knife-throwing gunfighter, he dominated the screen not through verbosity or theatrics, but through quiet authority and measured confidence. While he was not the lead, His performance became one of the film's most unforgettable, captivating audiences with an understated magnetism. This role marked the beginning of his ascent into major film stardom throughout the 1960s and 1970s, leading to memorable roles in The Great Escape, Charade, Our Man Flint, in Like Flint, and The President's Analyst. His portrayal of Derek Flint was particularly significant, a witty, self-aware spy who parroted James Bond. Coburn's Flint combined humor, intelligence, and athleticism with charm, self-assurance, and a refusal to take himself too seriously. At a time when American culture was questioning authority, tradition, and conventional ideas of masculinity, Coburn became a symbol of a new kind of hero, tough but reflective, confident but never cruel, rebellious yet guided by a moral compass. Even as his fame grew, Coburn maintained a discerning approach to his career, selecting roles based on personal interest rather than mass appeal. During the 1970s, he explored darker, more nuanced characters in films such as Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, Duck, You Sucker, and Cross of Iron. These roles revealed another side of Coburn, world-weary, contemplative, occasionally disillusioned, but always human. Behind the scenes, however, his long-standing health challenges resurfaced. His rheumatoid arthritis, persistent since childhood, intensified with age, causing severe pain and restricting his ability to work. For long stretches, he withdrew from acting entirely, and many assumed that his career had run its course. Yet Coburn's resilience persisted. After discovering treatments that alleviated his condition, he staged a remarkable comeback in the late 1990s. In 1999, he delivered a raw, searing performance in Affliction, portraying a violent, emotionally fractured father. The role earned him the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, a recognition that Coburn valued not as a symbol of fame, but as an acknowledgment of decades devoted to truth, substance, and integrity over mere public acclaim. Beyond his professional accomplishments, Coburn's private life reflected many of the qualities that defined his on-screen persona: loyalty, simplicity, and respect for personal integrity. Unlike many of his contemporaries, whose lives were often defined by scandal as much as by artistry, Coburn sought a grounded existence. In 1959, he married Beverly Kelly and raised 2 children while maintaining a largely private family life amid the demands of a rising career. He preferred quiet evenings and meaningful relationships over parties and public attention. Following a divorce in 1979, Coburn eventually remarried, uniting with actress Paula Murad in 1993 in a ceremony in Versailles, France. Murad supported him through the challenges of aging and recurrent health issues, and together they established the James and Paula Coburn Foundation, a charitable organization reflecting their commitment to leaving a positive legacy beyond entertainment. Central to Coburn's philosophy was a commitment to authenticity over appearance. He believed that an individual's worth was determined by honesty and faithfulness to oneself, not by fame or social recognition. This principle guided his approach to acting, which he regarded as an avenue for expressing genuine human experience. He was drawn to characters who were multifaceted, flawed, and real, and he sought narratives that challenged simplistic definitions of heroism. It was within this context that Robert Mitchum emerged as a figure of profound significance in Coburn's life. For years, Coburn rarely mentioned Mitchum in interviews, not from indifference, but from a deep respect that made articulating his admiration a complex, almost daunting task. When he finally spoke openly, his tone conveyed a mixture of reverence, awe, and a subtle touch of intimidation. Coburn observed that Mitchum's presence was immediately felt by everyone in a room, not because of performance, spectacle, or deliberate charisma, but simply through the authenticity of his existence. In Hollywood, a place dominated by image, pretense, and the relentless pursuit of approval, Mitchum's disregard for validation and steadfast honesty were extraordinary. His independence, refusal to conform to studio demands, and ability to imbue every role with lived experience were both inspiring and intimidating to a young Coburn. Mitchum's performances, like Coburn's own, were never ostentatious or exaggerated. They were understated, grounded, and deeply human, leaving a lasting impression on an actor who valued subtlety, integrity, and realism above all else. Coburn's admiration for Mitchum went beyond technique. It reflected a shared approach to life and art. Both men navigated the pressures of fame with a sense of detachment from superficial accolades. Both approached their craft as a serious endeavor rather than a platform for self-aggrandizement. Both believed in inhabiting their roles with authenticity, drawing from personal experience and understanding, rather than relying on showmanship. For Coburn, Mitchum was the embodiment of an artist who had mastered both the external and internal demands of acting. A figure who remained true to himself regardless of industry expectations, a model for integrity and quiet authority. As Coburn aged, he increasingly reflected on these lessons and the influence of Mitchum on his career and life philosophy. His later performances, including his Oscar-winning Turn in Affliction, demonstrated a synthesis of these ideals: emotional honesty, nuanced depth, and a refusal to succumb to melodrama. His life off-screen mirrored this consistency, characterized by thoughtful relationships, charitable endeavors, and an unwavering dedication to authenticity. By the time of his passing, Coburn had become more than a celebrated actor. He had become a symbol of enduring strength, measured confidence, and the quiet power of integrity, all qualities he had long admired in Robert Mitchum. Coburn's story illustrates the profound impact that a single figure can have on another artist, not through direct mentorship, but through example. Mitchum's indifference to convention, his grounded approach to fame, and his commitment to authenticity provided Coburn with a model for navigating Hollywood on his own terms. Coburn's eventual willingness to speak openly about Mitchum underscored the deep respect and almost reverential acknowledgement he held for a peer whose presence had shaped both his personal and professional life. In a career marked by careful selection of roles, understated but compelling performances, and an unwavering commitment to truth, Coburn exemplified the very qualities he saw in Mitchum: quiet strength, artistic integrity, and a profound understanding of what it meant to live authentically in a world that often valued spectacle over substance. Ultimately, James Coburn's life and career serve as a testament to the enduring influence of mentors and exemplars who lead by example rather than instruction. His experiences, from the hardships of a Depression-era childhood in Nebraska to the disciplined rigor of military service, from his patient cultivation of craft on stage to his breakthrough in film, and finally to his late career triumphs, reflect a man shaped not only by circumstance, but also by admiration for those who embodied principles he held dear. Robert Mitchum, through his presence, his performances, and his refusal to compromise his values, became such a figure for Coburn, leaving a legacy that extended far beyond the screen and into the very ethos of how one might live and work with integrity, resilience, and quiet dignity. By embracing these values, Coburn demonstrated that true artistry and genuine character are inseparable. His performances remain examples of how subtlety, control, and authenticity can create compelling cinema, while his life offers lessons in resilience, discipline, and moral clarity. The reverence he held for Robert Mitchum was both a reflection of his own ideals and a reminder that the influence of others can shape not only the trajectory of a career, but the essence of a life lived with purpose. In the end, Coburn's story, interwoven with his admiration for Mitchum, is a narrative of persistence, refinement, and the relentless pursuit of truth in both art and life, a legacy that continues to inspire actors and audiences alike.